We brought the Slayer out today because I wanted to test to see which tires I prefer. I brought a whole selection of tires. Let's see how they handle. These are the low-C Baja Ray tires. A little bit on the tall side, and the compound is rather hard, so I'm not sure how I feel about it. The body is awfully noisy. It's bouncing on the body posts. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put some spacers underneath that body. This thing is just making all sorts of noise. Yeah, the tires just feel way too hard. Let's try the other side. It is raining a little bit, but you know what? That doesn't bother me. Anyway, wheel swap. Got the Raptor R 4x4 wheels. Right off the bat, I like them a lot better. A little bit softer. Feels less like I'm riding on rock hard tires. The body is a lot less noisy with these, which is weird because they have more body rub. They stick out more. Got a wider offset, so they sit out a little bit more. Second gear, let's go. Yeah, I like these wheels a lot better. Definitely better than the low-C ones. And I got all three hex options. I got the 12, 14, and 17, so I also got some buggy Badlands on deck. Gonna try those. Of course, we're gonna try the stock ones. I also have some Talons from a Rustler, because of course I do. We'll try those next. I submit to you once again my theory that Talons look good on everything and work great on everything. I mean, can we just stop and appreciate how mean this looks? Anyway, let's drive them. The time spent cooling off between tire changes, gotta put some heat back in it, but anyway, here we are. Got the Slayer with the Talons. Another great example of how Talons work on everything. I mean, as expected, it handles perfectly. These tires are just the greatest. Thankfully, the rain went away, but anyway, Talons on a Slayer. Big time recommend. Looks good, handles well, just all around awesome. Now we're gonna move on to the 17mm options that we got, which are basically just the buggy Badlands. If you're wondering how to expand your wheel choices for your Slayer, I wanted to show you how I have it set up. So as you can tell, I got the Talons here, which, as I'm sure you guys know, these are 12mm hex, and I'm also sure that you guys know that the Slayer runs with a 14mm hex. How did I do it? So check this out. Let's come back to the car here. I actually have to drill out the center hub a little bit to make installing them a little bit easier. But anyway, so we have these 12mm hexes here, and these are actually Traxxas hexes. Let me get my tool so I can take it off and show you. Using a 1.5, this is the cross pin. So just undo that, pull the pin out. Hex looks like that, right? These are the optional 12mm hex hubs that you would put on an XL1 if you wanted to put your, any given 12mm foam wheels on there. So of course, once we have the stub out here, you guys know how the 17mm work. They come stuck on the Revo. Basically, you just have these guys, right? And you slide them on there with the screw pin that goes through there, very similar to this one. The more interesting part, of course, is it's going to be the 12mm, because I don't think really anybody's running 12s on their Slayer. But if you do, it opens up your wheel options, because then you can run any host of 12mm short course wheels that will fit on the Slayer here. So if you wanted 12s, throw a 12 on here. If you wanted your 17s, of course, you get the ones off of the Revo. And if you wanted your 14s for your stock options, I got the metal ones here, but they're the same. Put your cross pin in there, slide those on there, and run your wheels just like anything else. Pro tip, get yourself a 3/8 impact with a 17 on it for this reason. Check this out, zoom in on this. So these hex hubs, they're fairly new, and they're for the Slayer, the Revo, the T-Max, the E-Max. You guys have seen these. Now, those trucks are really old. Now, what does that mean? Why does that matter? If those trucks are old, then be wary of how old these parts are. And what I mean by that is if you go buy these hexes, because Traxxas still sells these, what are the odds that this particular Loctite, right, because it's packaged with Loctite. When you buy it, it's got Loctite on it. What are the odds that the Loctite on here is as old as the truck that you are working on, right? And we all know that the E-Max, T-Max, Revo Slayer, that platform is 10+ years old. How old is this Loctite? Well, if anybody's ever been frustrated with cranking down these wheel nuts on fresh Loctite, right, it can be a real royal pain in the butt. That's where this guy comes in. Smashy, smashy. See, look, I've been hammering it and it's still loose, nowhere near tight enough. Are we tight now? Yeah, I think we're tight now. Yeah, that's why. Because if you do this by hand, cranking down on this 10-year-old Loctite, good luck. And of course, we got the Proline Buggy Badland wheels. 17mm hex drive. A few friends of mine have been insisting that I run buggy wheels. So, let's give it a shot. Wow. Not what I had in mind. First impressions, grippy as hell. Grippy as hell. Soft and grippy. Yeah, traction roll. This is going to be an issue with these wheels. For better or for worse. And I'm sure I could tune that with sway bars and suspension adjustments, but I haven't made any changes other than wheel swaps. Ooh, ooh. Tumble, tumble. Yeah, so if you like soft and grippy, yeah, buggy spec wheels, Badlands, these are going to be a solid choice. Yeah, traction roll, traction roll. I'm not sure how I feel about that. They look good and they handle great, but I have to really focus when it comes to driving on these instead of, just doing it by one hand. There we go. Damn, this thing's fast.